Good morning. This is a quick review video of multiplicative comparisons. This is a skill we learned the first 9 weeks, but we wanted to give you a quick review in case you kind of forgot how the skill works. But it's also something we've been working on during our lessons in class. All right, so let's get started. It says there are 8 red marbles in a bag. In the same bag, there are 4 times as many green marbles. How many green marbles are in the bag? So we're trying to solve how many green marbles are inside of this bag. Now I know it's a multiplicative comparison because it uses the word times. Anytime it uses the word times as much, times as many, times greater, times anything, we're not adding or subtracting, we're comparing using equal groups or multiplication. So we're either going to be multiplying or we're going to be dividing, but it's up to us to use the steps to draw a bar model to decide. So I'm going to model now. So we know there's 8 red marbles and we're trying to solve green marbles. So first step, make your labels. Well, I'm talking about red marbles and green marbles, so I'll use R and G as labels. Check. Next, figure out which label is more. So to figure out which label is more, we could reread the question. We need to figure out which one is having all of those groups, or in other words, holding that multiplier, the number of times we're repeating. So it says there's 8 red marbles. In the same bag, there's 4 times as many green marbles. How many green marbles are there? So we've learned that there are more green marbles. Check. So that brings us straight into step 3. We write the multiplier beside the word more. Well, the multiplier is the number hooked to the word times. So since there are 4 times as many green marbles, our multiplier is, in fact, 4. Now, our multiplier is really important because it helps us draw our boxes. So the reason we're going to be drawing multiple boxes is because this is a multiplicative comparison. That means the green marbles have 4 equal groups. Okay? My smartboard's a little bit off. Okay? So I want to make sure you guys can see it, so I'm going to reset it. I always have to do this every little bit because it just needs resetting. That's okay. So let me draw those 4 boxes again so they're a little more clear. I'm actually going to draw a long rectangle this time and then split it into 4 parts. There we go. So the green marbles is 4 times as much as the red marbles. So I'm going to put 1 box by the red marbles and then I'm done with my boxes. I've showed that the green is more. I've shown the green is 4 times as much as the red. Well, now I'm on step 5. I'm going to fill in the information that I know. Well, I know based on the first sentence there's 8 red marbles in the bag. So if I put an 8 by the red marbles, I now have everything I need in order to solve step 6. So there's 8 red marbles, 4 times as many green marbles. So that means we're just repeating 8 4 different times. So our answer is going to be the product of 4 and 8. So 4 groups of 8 equals 32 green marbles. Okay? I use the steps. The steps are the same every time to make a bar model to help me decide that this was a multiplication problem. I knew the number of groups and the number inside of each group. So now I'm going to move to another question. Okay? And we're going to decide if we're multiplying or dividing on this one by using a bar model. So it says a rabbit can run 8 times faster than a hamster. So again, I see that word times. I know I need to draw a bar model, multiplicative comparison. The rabbit runs 40 miles per hour. So I know the rabbit's faster and I know how fast it runs. Now I want to know how fast does the hamster run? Well, first step, make our labels. We have a rabbit, we have a hamster. Check. Figure out which label is more. Well, the question said the rabbit runs 40 miles an hour and the rabbit runs 8 times faster than the hamster. So we know that the rabbit ran more, okay, faster than the hamster, 8 times faster. Check. And check on that too. The more and the multiplier always go together, so kind of step 2 and 3 really go hand in hand. So now we're on step 4, draw your boxes based on the multiplier. Well, the rabbit's going to get a whopping 8 boxes. So there's 2, 2 split in half is 4, 4 split in half is 8. So there's 8 boxes by the rabbit, and the hamster only gets 1 box. Because remember, the rabbit is 8 times faster than the hamster. So now we're on step 5, fill in what we know. Well, if we go back to the question, it tells us the rabbit runs 40 miles an hour. So if the rabbit runs 40 miles an hour, I'm not going to put a 40 beside the hamster. The hamster doesn't run that fast. No, the rabbit does. So since the rabbit has all 8 groups, 40 is being split equally between those 8 groups. So this ended up being a division question. We're doing 40 divided into 8 equal groups, and we want to know how many is in each group. Well, if you're not sure what 40 divided by 8 is, you can think of multiplication, our fact families, what times 8 equals 40. And if we look at our multiplication chart, we'll see that that answer is 5. 8 groups of 5 equal 40. So I'm going to plug that in my chart and make sure it makes sense. Okay, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. Ding, ding, ding. We have a winner. The hamster ran 5 miles an hour because 8 groups of 5 did in fact equal the 40 that the rabbit ran. 40 miles per hour. Okay, so that was a division question. All right, so now let's read another and decide, are we multiplying or are we dividing? It says Evelyn has 4 times as many. Ooh, times as many. So I know I'm either multiplying or dividing. But I need to draw a bar model to decide. That's why we draw the bar model. Sometimes we're multiplying and sometimes we're dividing. It depends on what we know and what we don't know. So Evelyn has 4 times as many stuffed elephants than any other stuffed animals. She has 12 stuffed elephants. How many other stuffed animals does she have? Step 1, labels. Well, Evelyn has elephants, and then she has other stuffed animals. So I might put other. Okay, if you want to write the whole word out, that's absolutely fine. Whatever's going to help you understand your labels. All right, so I got my first step done. Second step, figure out which label is more. Well, it says Evelyn has 4 times as many elephants than other stuffed animals. So I learned that she has more elephants, 4 times more elephants. So that means there's going to be 4 boxes by the elephants and only 1 by the other stuffed animals. So now to fill in the information I know, well, I know she has 12 stuffed elephants. So I'm not going to put a 12 here. That doesn't make sense. It doesn't say she has 12 other stuffed animals. No, that's what we're trying to figure out. That's what we do not know. We don't know the number in each group, but we know that the elephants total 12. So again, this was a division question. 12 divided into 4 equal groups equals what? So if you're not sure what 12 divided by 4 is, you can think about what times 4 gets you up to 12. And that is going to be 3. And we can plug it back into our bar model to check. 3, 6, 9, 12. Perfect. We got it. Evelyn has 3 other stuffed animals. All right. So this next one is a little bit different. Okay. Let me read you the next one. We're going to think about why it's different. It says Caleb spent 24 minutes reading his book. Joshua spent 4 minutes reading his book. How many times as many minutes did Caleb read than Joshua? So what's different about this question is there is no number beside the word times like there was in the previous questions. This is called missing multiplier, okay? But we can still solve in the same way. Look at what I mean. I'm still going to start with my labels. I have Caleb, I have Joshua reading books. Well, who read more? Well, we can definitely know that Caleb read more because he read 24 minutes and Joshua only read 4. After the word more, we have to write the multiplier, but we don't have the multiplier. So instead of putting a number there, I can just put a question mark for now. Now that does affect our boxes. We can't put all of our boxes there because we don't know how many to put for Caleb. But since Joshua has less, we can put 1 for Joshua. All right, now we're at the step where we fill in what we know. Well, we know Caleb read for 24 minutes. So instead of putting all those little boxes, because I don't know what goes in them yet, I'm going to put one big box across the top and put 24. I also know that Joshua spent 4 minutes reading, okay? And now I can solve. I'm trying to figure out the multiplier, or the number of boxes of 4 it takes to get to 24. Okay, it's 24 divided by 4 equals what? And I can solve that using my bar model. So one group of 4 is just 4. No. 2 groups of 4, that's 8. Not there yet. 3 groups of 4? No. 12. Now we're at 16, 20, and I ran out of room. That's okay, just keep going. 24. So Joshua's amount has to be repeated 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times to equal Caleb's amount. So our answer, 24 divided by 4 equals 6, because 4 times 6 equals 24. Boys and girls, anytime you're missing the multiplier is the number of groups. It's the number of boxes. It's always going to be a division problem. But if you ever struggle with division, use multiplication to help you. If you're not sure what 24 divided by 4 is, think about what times 4 equals 24. All right, there's one last question I want to talk about, okay? And it's with an equation. This says, which statement correctly represents the equation 8 times 9 equals 72? Well, if I was to physically work this out, okay, like with a bar model, I wouldn't have labels or anything because it's not a word problem. I'm not really talking about anything. But this literally means 8 times, or 8 groups. So I could draw 8 groups. Okay, 8 groups of 9, 9, 9, 9, 9, 9, 9, 9, 9 equals 72. That's what we're doing. 8 times 9, 8 groups of 9 is 72. 8 times, okay, repeating groups, 8 times as many as 9 is, or equals 72. So I need to find a statement that really matches that. So let's look at the first one. A says 8 equals 9 times greater than 72. No way, Jose. If we use our rounding skills, 9 times, let's say 70, whoa, that's going to be 630. That's way off. No way. So let's look at the second one. 72 equals 8 times less than 9. No, it looked really good until it said this word less. It's not 8 times less than 9. That would be going backwards. No, we're counting up by 9. So that's close, but it's not quite there. C says 72 equals 8 times greater than 9. That is exactly what we did. We repeated 9 8 different times to get us to 72. That looks like a really good answer. But always, you want to check all of them. Let's look at the last one. 72 equals 8 less than 9. 8 less than 9 is going to be 9 take away 8, which is going to be 1. No, 1 and 72 are not the same. This is trying to get us to subtract. 8 less than 9? We hold up 9 fingers. Take 8 away. We only have 1 left. That's nowhere near 72. Get out of here, trick answer. So the best answer is C, because it reads 72 is or equals 8 times as many as 9, or 8 times greater than the number 9. Multiplicative comparisons are all about equal groups, but it's up to you to decide if we're multiplying or dividing to solve.